So the topics I'm going to be talking about today is I'm going to explain to you what Google Drive is if you guys haven't used it yet. I'm going to go the overview of the apps that we'll be talking about. There's a lot more. They only gave me an hour to talk. I can do this for hours. I can talk about the Google apps for education for hours. But I'm going to be talking about the main ones, the ones that you can compare to things that you probably use every single day. I'm going to be talking about the sharing capabilities that you can use, how you can use it in an online environment, the collaboration, how everyone can work on it at the same time, the research tool, which is fantastic. You can actually do all the research within the document itself. So because a lot of times if our students go outside of the document and start getting online, what are they going to do? They're going to start going on YouTube. They're going to check their Facebook account, and next thing you know, they forgot about their project entirely. You know, so if we can keep the research and everything within the document, it's actually quite nice tool. Document revision history. This is a great tool not only for students to be able to revert back to an older version of their document, but for us as instructors, we can, instructors and administrators, I don't want to assume, so we can see who's actually working on the project as well. So if you have participation and stuff like that, you can see that student 1, 2, and 3 are part of the revision history, so obviously they worked on this document. Comments and chats, you can do that within certain apps and everything, and it's great because you can actually do it with the students. If you wanted to talk to them, say if you're an English teacher or something like that about their grammar or something, you can mark a certain spot and put it in there, and then it'll actually email you, and you can set up notifications if you don't want to get emailed on everything. So it's really nice. And then I'm just going to put together a real small real-world scenario, just so, you know, it's a lot of times people talk about stuff like this, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, well, how am I going to use it in the real world? So I'll put one together for you. So the first thing I want to talk about is Google Drive. Google Drive is not just online storage, it's much more. So if some of us have used Dropbox or Box.net, or Microsoft decided to change SkyDrive to OneDrive, you know, so OneDrive, it's all that. You can store everything online in the cloud, but you can, well, you can store your pictures, documents, and videos, but you can also create and edit documents straight from that cloud. And not just from your laptop or your desktop, but you can do it from all your, you can do it from your phone, your tablets, and stuff like that. And you can edit them at the same time. So if I can get a chance, if we have enough time, I'll show you. I'll do that. I'm going to go behind this screen right here, and it's not because I'm not eating anything or doing anything. I have a laptop set up, so you can see I have 2 different users going on at the same time, so you can see how it works. And you can access it from anywhere that there is internet. You know, so everyone has been, I'm a big fan of Chromebooks as well, and people really knock the Chromebooks because, well, you really need internet access for it or something like that. Well, yeah, but, you know, so if you try to knock, you know, well, you need internet. We're talking about online here, so we're assuming everyone's going to have internet access. So this is great. And you can easily share anything to anyone, you know. But then I'm going to explain to you that your institution can also lock that down if you don't want it to go outside. So if there's any security concerns, you know, you can lock that down as well. So Google Drive is quite nice. Google Apps for Education. It's web-based email, calendars, and documents for collaborative study anywhere. Numerous colleges are currently using Google Apps for Education. Some of the big ones are like Notre Dame, Georgetown, Brown, and it's absolutely free. You know, which is, yes, and I did say that it's free, you know, and us as instructors, we love to be able to provide that for our students. The first one I'm going to talk about is Google Docs. It's just an online word processor, very similar to Microsoft Word. Doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it has just enough that we'll need, and it has some other really cool ones. You can access it from anywhere. I'm going to say that a lot. That's one of those things I want to make sure that I can pound into everyone. And you can do it from a computer, a tablet, or a smartphone. It has the sharing and collaboration, and it has that embedded research tool that I talked about. So I'm gonna jump out of this real quick and show you one of the documents that I actually made this morning during breakfast. And this is the example of, oh, I had the research tool. I was supposed to hide that from you guys. My research tool open. So I was just a little thing talking about Egypt. I pulled in a picture here, and I pulled in all this information without leaving the document. So like if I wanted to research the Great Wall of China, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can actually even open the research tool, or you can just right-click on it and research. and then I'll pull up everything that you need to know right there on the right. So, and it's just like a Google search. You know, so if you guys are used to searching with Google, you guys have seen where you can do different things. You can search everything. If I wanted just images of the Great Wall of China, there I go. You can actually, if you're concerned about licensing information, you can filter it based on whether or not you want it to be free to use or stuff like that. So if you want to make sure your students are using stuff that they're allowed to use, you can do that as well. And then here's a little neat thing too, is once you drag and drop this in here, it actually cites it for you and puts it at a footer at the bottom. So I know, I'm done, is that good? Yeah, all right, there you go.
Does that pop up in there academically viable? I mean, it's just like a Google search, they could get, Billy Bob's website. They
can, yes, they can. So certain things, it's just like a Google search. I mean, it is Google. So some things you're going to have to, if you have your own constraints as far as that, you're going to have to let them know. It's just a Google search, but it is pretty nice to, as far as pictures and stuff like that, you're fine. And then they can tell based on, wherever the URL came from it. If that's Wikimedia and that's okay, then we're all right. If you tell them you cannot use them from, you cannot use them from collegehumor.com or something like that, then okay. So and then everything within the everything in here is very similar to Microsoft Word. So if you want to insert images, links, I mean, this is equation editor is quite nice. You can do drawings. I mean, a lot of this, there's not a huge learning curve that you have to overcome in order to use this. Yeah.
Okay, can you bring in a Word doc?
You can open up a Word doc. Yeah, you can just bring a Word doc straight in here. You can actually download it as a Word doc. You can download it as a PDF, rich text file, open office, so I mean, it is quite, I mean, across the board, it's really nice. And here's another, okay, we got cited for the pictures as well, and I think I might have to skip that slide when we get to the research tool because I get excited about it. So, but and if we go to, say if I'm going to search everything, and say some faculty might not like Wikipedia, but say if we got information here from Wikipedia, I'm only going to take a little bit. Let me get the T. I'm going to pop it over here, drop it in there. And then once I hover, see this little site right here? I can click on that, and it's going to give me another. It's going to give me another site right there. So now we don't have to spend all that time teaching them. You got to use APA or MLA or Chicago, all those different ones. We can actually teach them now. We can use that time to teach and let them, because that's one of the few things, and I hope I don't get any English teachers upset, that I haven't used since college and high school. I'm sorry. Now that I teach computers. Well, go ahead. You can do, at the very top up here, you can do MLA, APA, or Chicago. Am I good? Can I leave now? All right, so, okay. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in. Oh, because the one dropped, or you mean like that? That just might be for the picture. It was where the picture came from. So just like if everyone knows how Google does it, everything in Google, no matter what it is, you can search it. Google's one giant, so yeah. So there's certain things. I mean, like that. If they say, all right, that's not, but they can see where it came from. So yeah, so it's there. So there's certain, there's certain things. So if we said, do we want credible places? Make sure it's a credible, you can do that as well. But as you can see, I have not left the document. I'm still in the document. I haven't been distracted by my Facebook notifications. I haven't gone to Google Plus and seen, who added me to their circle. Yeah. That actually, I haven't we can actually just try that right now. Let's see. There you go. No. And I've actually Googled that too, so that part is, huh? Oh, go back into that. So I'm teaching Word in the fall, so I haven't got to that part. I'm supposed to make up the course soon, so. Yeah, so, but you guys can see how easy it is, you know, to do, yeah.
So you copied and pasted directories on the internet and there are no citations. Only citations. Oh.
As far as 1, 2. Oh yeah, no, that I'm just showing you, like, yeah. I mean, if it's, you know, you still have to do it, and I would hope they wouldn't directly copy like that as well. Yeah, but I know, but yeah. I mean, when you just drag and drop, it's a drag and drop feature. It's not going to know that you're trying to. I literally. When I did. I thought I just went like that. Yeah, I just drag and drop. Even when you copy and paste, it's still. Yeah, it's not. You're going to have to, you know, for that. If you're going to have to teach your students, hey, if you got a number 4 there, make sure you. And if it's over, what is it, over 40 words, block it. Or, you know, like I said, I'm not an English teacher, but I know there's certain requirements for your citing. But isn't that a lot better than it is already? I mean, I did get somewhere. So let me go back now. So that was my I'll show you 2 people on the Excel one. So when we get to Excel, so that's Google Docs. Now we're going to talk about Google Sheets. Google Sheets is an online spreadsheet. So everyone's used Excel, hopefully. If not, I teach a wonderful class at Mount San Jacinto. I'm teaching it online in the fall. Same benefits as the Google Docs. It's very similar to Microsoft Excel. And then it has many of the functions and formulas that we use, and it has a chart and graphing capabilities. So once again, I'm just going to pop out of here, go back to the one I made, show you a real easy one that we can all probably relate to right here. So this is just a simple Excel sheet. You can use formulas that we're all used to. I got a percentage formula. I got a VLOOKUP to determine the grades. You can use both types of VLOOKUPs. I have an easy graph going on here. And then if I want, let me see if I can get in here with this one. So let me load it. I'm going to show you how 2 people can work on it at the same time. And this is and then I'm going to jump into another discussion once I get in there. This thing lets me in. Is now you see, I can project my voice, I think, for now you can see I have a picture of another person in here. So if you as a teacher are presenting something to your class and you provide them with the URL and tell them to open up, say if you have 30 people in your class, sometimes I don't even lecture until I see 30 minutes. I'll tell everyone, I want to make sure everyone's looking at what I'm looking at, you know, so I'm not going to do anything until I go. And then all of a sudden I'll have students. Every student will pop into that thing and it'll show all their icons. And then I know everyone's looking at what I'm looking at. I think they could have another page open. I wasn't born yesterday, but at least I think they have it open. You know, so yeah. So I mean, I know students, but yeah, then you can see who's engaged. And then depending on the rights, you know, you can have the different rights too. They have view. You can have edit. You can make someone an owner. So if I told a student, okay, you know, like I have them in groups, make me the owner of that file. And then I can do everything that I need. And then stuff that I present, I only get view-only rights. Like you guys, with that URL that you have, you couldn't go in there and make changes as long, you know, instead of in the background right now. So you do have security rights that are really nice. So we're gonna put my cursor over here, and now you can see there's 2 cursors. So on this one, if I wanted to change this to this student actually got a 47. And then on this one, this student actually got a 39. You know, you can do it. 2 people can work on the same thing at the same time. 4 people can work on the same thing. So now we don't need, you know, to go to the library anymore. Let's all use the library, or let's try to figure out CCC confer and get it all going. No, you guys can all be in the same document at the same time. And then even if you want, you can be chatting with each other at the same time. You know, so it's actually a really nice feature to be able to allow them to collaborate together. So that's Sheets. Let me just go through this. You know, if you guys look, a lot of them are exactly the same. So a bunch of insert functions, charts, images, links, forms, drawings. All the formatting is the same. You can sort. You know, it just doesn't have. You know, it doesn't have all the database capabilities that Excel has. Yes.
I just wanted to ask something for the If you go to the tab, there's a little arrow. If you only want your students to
edit one sheet, so you don't want them to mess with other things, you can protect that specific sheet, and then they can't edit it, so then they can make changes to everything else. So that's super helpful, like if you're trying to collaborate or make schedules.
So, yeah, you can protect sheets and yeah, but
Can you chat with the Word doc?
the Word doc and the Excel you can. The PowerPoint, it still doesn't. You can only leave comments. So as far as PowerPoint, there's no chat up here. But if I wanted to, and you can see I already have. And if you're not part of the organization, so now I got anonymous Chupacabra and anonymous Shrew. So whoever you guys are, you guys are all right. But you can leave, certain people by one they can leave comments, but you can't chat. But yeah, from the Word document and the Excel, you can chat. Into this one, the presentation. Into what? On this one, everyone went to the URL at the beginning, and that's how they got into this document. Yes, you would do the same thing. You would just share. When we talk about sharing, you would just share this link with everyone. That's why I shortened it. So if everyone knows that you Google URL shortener or tiny URL, you wouldn't want to leave this one. You would shorten it. And then this is, like I said, I'm probably going to have to skip a bunch of slides. But this is where you can set everything up. So here I said anyone who has a link can view. So everyone that's looking at this, you can view it. And then I have my school account, my personal account, and then I even put my wife's account. So when we get to that portion, you can see how a bunch of people collaborated at the same time. And then you can just invite if you wanted to do more. And then your organization can set it up to, if you don't want people to invite outside of the organization, you can set that up as well. So right now, the organization allows me to do it to my other Gmail account. But if you have one that needs to be locked down, middle school, if you have, we're all in college, but if the middle school, high school, and stuff like that, they really lock it down to where they can't share it with me. I need to get an email address through that. So it's nice. So if you have a call that's like that, your IT can lock it down. So that was spreadsheets. Now we're going to go. I was showing you that who was asking about seeing this one? There's a URL for it. And then slides. Slides is just what we're looking at right now. It's an online presentation creator. Same benefits as Google Docs. Similar to PowerPoint, but not as robust. You can't, they don't have all the different, there's only like 12 themes that you can pick. Maybe even more, maybe like 20 themes. But it's really easy to do, just like if you ever do a PowerPoint. There's no learning curve. You can jump right in here and like, all right, I can do it. But it has the research tool as well. All of these have the research tool.
What type of media can you insert?
You can insert YouTube. You can insert some of the other, I think, video and stuff like that. You can do pictures, sound files. So it's, you can actually do quite a lot. Most of this is Google, it's going to be YouTube. But when we go to insert, you have you can do images under videos. You could do things. You can actually search YouTube directly from here. So if I wanted to search something, a name, I can just search the whole YouTube. Or if you have the YouTube URL, you can just dump it in there.
What do you think about any problems with uploading any of these files into
when you wouldn't really upload these files. The thing about Google Docs is they're all just one file in one place. So you would just upload the link to it. That's all you do. And then you can do it anywhere. There's no, just like you're looking at it now, your students would just post the link to whatever tool they're using, and then you can get to it. Just like a lot of you are looking at it on your tablets.
My students in the time that they use like Google Docs or whatever, then I have to log in to my Google account to do their time.
No, you don't. If your institution's using it, then it's all part of it. But no, you don't. Just like I said, just like how everyone else is doing it right now, they can assign the person that has the link editing rights if you wanted to edit it. Or you can do is you can look at it and then you can download it to whatever file you have. But there's no uploading anything. Everything's just one file location. The problem with things these days is, say if I had an Excel file and I was working on it and I emailed it to any one of you, I have a copy of it, now you have a copy of it, you know, and if anyone makes changes to it, there's more versions of it, and next thing you know, where's the newest version? You don't know. With Google Apps, you know, the newest version's right there. And then you can go to what's called revision history and see when all those revisions are made. Sorry. So, so Google Slides, like I said, you're looking at it. So like I said, some of the themes, this is kind of what you're limited to. So it's not all that fancy, but it's nice and easy. I use it all the time instead of PowerPoint, because then it's just easy. I don't bring flash drives. I don't bring I have my laptops, but I haven't turned on my Windows laptops probably in a couple months, you know, because everything is Google, or I use my Chromebook. So that's Slides. Then they have some additional apps. Let me go back to presentation view so you guys can see this. They have Google Forms. If you want to do quizzes or tests or stuff like that, you can use what's called a Google Form. You can make your whole tests and quizzes directly in a form, and when they fill out all that information, it actually pops it into a spreadsheet. So it's really nice. It's great. I know some of the publishers and everything already have the tests and everything done for us, like the one I use, it's already done. So I only use Google Forms for extra credit. I would use it to see if they know my syllabus or looked at my Blackboard or something like that. I'd make a Google Form for it. And then I would actually go through it and get all the right answers. So I would be the first one to finish it, then everyone else, and me knowing spreadsheets, I would have it self-grade. So it's actually a really nice tool. But you can use Google Forms for everything, and then Google Drawings. You'll see later in here, during my breakfast, I made a drawing that shows the map and everything, and so it's real easy to use. And then there's much more that you can add. I mean, any of the Google apps that you would add to your normal Google Chrome user account, they'll be in the drop-down right there in Drive. And I'm going to jump out of here real quick and show you Google Drive. So this is my Google Drive account. It always opens up at the activity, but you can kind of close that out if you want. But in order to create something, all you do is, I mean, Google color codes their things really nice. So you just click Create. You can create a folder. You can create a document, a presentation, a spreadsheet, a form, and a drawing. And then if you want to do more apps, different things, you can do that as well. They have ones like for floor plans if you're gonna do architectural stuff, and it's really neat. There's a ton. But these are the basic ones. You know, these are the 5 that I use all the time. And that's all you would do is you would just click on one, and then you're in it. And the thing is, there's no pressing save anymore. It automatically saves as you go. So it's great. So you're not going to hear the thing, my computer crashed and I lost it. I was working on it for 3 hours, you know, and I lost all that stuff. Can you give me another week to do it? You're like, yeah. Exactly, but if you have the link to it, you can actually see. Then you're like, let me go check, you know, and then I'll show you where the revision history is, and revision history is, and you'll see that you haven't been on it for a week. I don't want to hear it, you know. So it's really nice. So that's how you get to your Google Drive. It's pretty neat. Sharing capabilities. I showed you some of that. Each document and folder in Google can be shared. You can have edit view and comment rights. It can be removed at any time, you know. So sometimes in, you know, a student drops or something like that, and they were in a group, you can just pull them out really easily. You can easily change the owner. So yeah, I have a lot of instructors that I do professional development for. They would immediately, when they set up a group, that file or folder, they would have to make the instructor the owner, and then the instructor can give all the rights out. And it's super easy to use, super simple to use. We're good?
Does Google get any ownership of any of the content?
Nope. Nope. It all belongs to the institution. Yep. All the ownership and everything. It's your guys' files. It is. You can bring it to your own servers, but they're all on Google servers if they, you know, want. But it's all yours. It's your stuff. So.
Are the files scanned to the owners so that they can develop their database?
I'm not exactly sure about that. So yeah, that I would have to look into, you know. But yeah, I don't really have an answer around that time. Yeah.
Can you lock it after the due date?
Yeah, you can unshare it. Yeah, if you're the owner, you just unshare it, and then no one can get to it again.
we were to create an assignment, we could creating multiple versions of that, we own it, and then you could use it.
You would share with the students. Watch. I mean, it's a good question. Let's say if we have an assignment. I can do both. Assignments are folded, but I'll do an assignment right now. If I wanted to share this, so I got to name it before. So I'm just going to call this one practice. I'm going to share this with my other account, who would be student 1, you know, in our case, but there's no, hopefully there's no student 1 email address. And if your institution adopts something like this, all the email groups apply. So if you have an email distribution list, you can just add them to you can just put the email distribution list in there, and boom, everyone that's a part of that distribution list gets whatever rights you give them. So then it's super easy to, then all you have to do is mess around with the distribution list. You know, so yeah, so it doesn't change. So like you actually don't even, if that distribution list stays every single semester or whatever, the same, you know, whatever the email address is, and all you do is pull people in and out of it, and then they get the rights. So it's actually really easy to manage. But let's. No. It can be any, yeah, and if you do it through your institution, you can use your, you know, if it's at edu or whatever it is, it'll adopt that as well. Like mine right here is at msjc.edu, and it's actually a Google, we're a Google institution. So let me make sure I forgot my D. I forgot my middle initial here. There you go. So I can edit, and then it's going to send me a notification. And this is the one, like I said, our institution allows it, but it's just going to warn me. Your IT department can lock that down to where you can't do it outside of the organization. And then whenever you want to remove it or everything, then you just remove everyone but you from it, and then no one can access that file anymore. That file's still there. And then if you want to get rid of it entirely, I would just make a PDF of it or something and store it somewhere locally. Yeah, you can open PowerPoint straight in it. Yeah, you can just when you open up when you start a new one, you can just go open, and then you can have it opens up all the presentation types. You know, even the open offices as well. But it'll open straight. You might have some formatting issues. I think earlier, I don't know if you guys saw. We were at a few where you know, as far as the fonts and everything, it might not, you know, because PowerPoint has a crazy amount of fonts and stuff like that. So that might not come across, so you might have to do some formatting. But other than that, it does come straight through. Yep.
Under your show where you want to use the ability to edit, can you do that in advance, or does it have to be live? And then, so you want to come right in after midnight.
You have to do it live. You can't really set a time for it. Yeah. So, you know, and something like that. If you were to post it somewhere, well, unless they save it, no, you'd probably have to do it real time. You know, but it's something that I'm pretty sure the developers can come up with. Collaboration. We saw the real-time collaborations. Every icon, different color icon, shows a different user up there as well. And when you're in Excel or if you're in Microsoft Word, they're all different colors. They'll match the color of your animal. We got a new animal that just popped in here. So we got an anonymous cheetah just quickly ran in here on us. So like I said, the collaboration is a great tool for lectures. Like I said, there's been many times where I would literally just sit there in front of class and wait until I got all 30 of my students in there.
We have an online question.
Okay, and then I'll get yours afterwards.
Can you share a document with just a URL without listing email addresses?
I don't believe so. Let me just check with the sharing things. You can do, no, it's only names and email addresses. You can share the URL. Yeah, so you can post that in it. But if that web address is associated with any users for some reason, you can't. But you can share this link at the top is what you would post in, say like me, I would post it in my Blackboard, or I would post it to, you know, even to a Facebook or Twitter or something like that. You can, you know, and I would shorten it because even here we can't even see the whole thing. Huh? No, that's the original one, but you have to go somewhere to shorten it. So that's what I did. What I do for these is I would copy this, and then I would just open up Google URL shortener, and I'd paste that in, and then I'll just use that shortened one. So, or if you like TinyURL or any of the other ones, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we all use it. I'm hoping that there'll eventually be a button over here that says "Give me a short URL," because that'd be nice. Because that's, like I said, I mean, we're halfway through it. Yeah, let me get him first. And then I'll come to you. Go ahead. A built-in PDF convert to? Yeah, it's all built in. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. If I wanted to save to PDF, you can save it to a PDF file. It's just download as, and you see here's PDF. Yeah, and you can do it. I mean, as PDF. You can do it as a PowerPoint. You can do it as PNG, a JPEG, a text. I mean, they're really tough. Yep. No, it's absolutely free. Any college can implement this for free, and each user has 30 gigs of storage space. So throughout 4 years, whether it be high school, middle school, college, graduate school, it's going to be really hard to use about 30 gigs. I'm not saying impossible, but it's going to be hard. You can still use it. You just won't. You would have to create another Gmail account, like my personal one. That's what you have to do, and you can still use it. You know, and you can even use your college. At first, I did this before my college. I'll get to you in a second. I did this before my college started implementing it, and then all of a sudden, since they have power of my email address, I had to merge the two, and that was kind of. Let me warn you, that was kind of a nightmare. So if you're gonna do it before your college implements it, just use just a regular email account for now, and then you can just share all this stuff with and you can make your college account the owner. So you go. Okay, now it's your turn.
That's kind of what I was going to ask. So, you know, I use this all the time.
Yeah.
School, so like downside is when I want to share it with everyone, I have to just say, hey, you want to link to you? I identify.
Yeah.
Not in the directory.
Yep.
So if you can actually pick on the transition that you guys went through, so as a school, Google Apps is free to adopt.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. For any institution. You know what? It was kind of seamless. Like none of us really knew. All of a sudden, I got the email saying, because I tried to log in with my MSJC account, and it said, "Hey, your college is now using it. They have pretty much power of attorney over your email account. You know, so you got to merge it." So the merging, I lost. Like I said, I lost a couple things. I lost. One of my forms, wouldn't work when I tried to go to the spreadsheet, but overall everything was pretty seamless. So yeah, it didn't take too much to do it. But if you're going to use it with a regular Gmail, then you would just share everything with your institution email account, but share it and make that person the owner. So if I had an @Gmail and then all of a sudden I have an @msjc.edu, I would make my @msjc.edu the owner of it. And then, if I want, I can tell my other account to take a hike. Yep. No, you can only have one. Yeah, so you can only have one, but you can give everyone editing rights, which is almost owner. So yeah, so it's just good enough. You don't want two owners. So editing rights is good enough. Yes, in the back, and then you, lady in the back.
When you're doing your lecture online, is there an audio component?
No, there's no real audio component. If I were to do anything, I use Google Hangouts for audio. I use a lot of Google Hangouts. Anything, yeah. And then you can, with the Google Hangouts, you can share your desktop the same way we're doing right now with CCC Confer. So that's what I would use. And the gentleman right there?
Sort of that, started when I was just a past semester, speaking of collaboration. One thing that I do now is I share the page that we're working on with everybody in class. Everybody's got wireless devices now. Instead of working on the board or typing myself, I'm having my students build the algorithm.
Yep. It is a pretty amazing tool. Same thing with me for a while there. Like I started using Dropbox, and then when I heard Google Drive, I'm like, it's just another online storage thing. So I made a whole organization I was working for at the time use Dropbox for all our files, and then I just stumbled into Google Drive, and I'm like, wow, I just totally missed the last year of what online storage really is. I could have been using this the whole time. You know, and it is quite amazing. And then too, for your students, if they're using it, a lot of them, you know, say if money's an issue and they don't really have the computers, you can buy a Chromebook for $200 these days. And it's not gonna, they're not gonna be able to play World of Warcraft or anything like that on it, which is good for us. You know, we don't want them doing that. You know, so hey, let's get them a kind of a slow, you know, laptop that can run Google Docs just fine, and it's cheap. You know, so I think mine was $250. Yes. No, wait, I think you were first, sorry. I think the only downside is the word change. You know, I mean, I really do. That I mean, and then some people's perception of the word Google. You know, and I think that's the only two downsides. How would you say how many? I know quite a few have too. I mean, we actually have both of them just because we weren't, you know, I think our students' emails are 365, and I think a lot of the other stuff, you know, might be the Google, you know, but then they haven't even fully adopted it as well. A lot of them, you know, right now are just kind of finding out like how neat and how, just like the gentleman said back there, like people need to try it to see how, people need to see it live, because that little video at the beginning that I was talking about didn't really do it a whole lot of justice. You know, all you did is hear this real cute song going on, you know, and a bunch of pictures, and you didn't know, like, you know, they showed all the graphs, and if those were 3 different people working on it at the exact same time. I did a professional development class in high school on area and volume and everything, and I had 4 students. They had to do 4 different parts at the exact same time to talk about area and volume. They had to import pictures and talk about it, and they did it. I mean, and these were high school students, and some of these classes, the teacher would come up to me and say, hey, this is that class. Like, I can't figure this class out. And they were usually the best at it. You know, because it's technology. A lot of them, I always tell the teacher a lot, because they're bored. You know, let's throw technology at them. And yeah, then all 4 of them did their part at the same time, and it's amazing to see it work. But yeah, you just have to see it. That's the thing. You have to see it live in order to appreciate it. Dude, yeah.
When I first started using it, I felt like it was like teacher cheating. Before, I would write my syllabus and then save it as a PDF and upload it to Blackboard, and then I'd realize, oh man, I do this mistake on it, and I'm going to go back to the document, and then take the edit, do it as a PDF, re-upload it. Now, all of my lectures, my syllabi are all Google Drive and edited into Blackboard.
Yep.
So any changes you make is on
It's automatic. You don't have to redo anything. Yeah. I'm just gonna let you guys talk. I'm gonna hide. Okay, I saw a hand over here. There you go.
Like online things, you have to make sure that email address matches and you know the students.
That's all for that. All the IT, all your IT department usually handles that, and once they're done doing that, then it's the point of, you know, your IT department usually dwindles a little bit because you really don't need to do much more after that. You know, so yeah, it is I mean, just like with anything, if you adopt something brand new, you know, when we adopted Blackboard, it probably wasn't that, you know, awesome for that summer. You know,
they're going to have to authenticate that student there with figures on that student. So they have to log into Blackboard or whatever your LMS is, and then go to this, and then links to it, but they can edit the document in Blackboard.
They would have to log into their account in order to edit the documents. You can have it match. You can have it match your account. You know, so like me, like if I were to log into mine, like if my Blackboard account and my my Google account are the same thing, you can have it match when you log in, and it'll pop you right in there. So the authentication can go to both of them. Yep. I'm not sure about that one. You might have to Google that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't used that. I don't use Publisher that much, so I'm not sure. So, but they might. I mean, Google's pretty good at trying to stay at par or better than Microsoft. Yes, you in the back.
Where you can get a Google Drive for each of your email accounts.
You can get a Google Drive for each of your Gmail accounts. You do have one for each of your. Yeah, yeah. I have 3 or 4 myself that So Yeah, no, yeah. And then what you want to do is, like me, like what I do, is if you want the other ones to see those files, you just share it. Like if I go back here and click on share, you know, these are the two that I use all the time. So if I want to make sure, like on my phone logs into my personal one automatically. So if I wanted to see this, I would look on my phone and just go things that are shared with me, and then I'll see the name of the 2004 OTC, you know, presentation. So you can share it amongst them, but each Gmail account, or, you know, even this one isn't technically a Gmail account, but your institution account, they have their own separate drives, separate space, separate everything. It doesn't, yeah, it's tied to the email account, not your name. You get the 30 gigs with the institution ones. I think it's less with the. I'm not sure about the personal one, but I know it's less. But if you buy a Chromebook, I'm not a Google seller, you get 100 gigs. So yeah. So we talked about the research tool. We talked about the works citing. Let me show you this document revision history. This is actually really awesome. And I actually talked to an instructor the other day that said this is what she uses to grade her students' participation. So if we look, I just went to File, Revision History, and then it shows all my revision histories of this document by the major users and of the major changes. If I want to see everything, there's a Show More Detail revision. So right here I can see this is me and I'm talking right now. This is my personal email account. Then if I want to go up, no, this is my wife's email account, and she made some changes, but I logged in as her. You know, so I can call her too. This is your password. So yeah, I'm on 2's not going to look cool. I need 3. So yeah, so you can see. So if you have 4 people working on this project, you're going to know. I don't know if anyone was going to do a really good presentation earlier about dynamic discussion, and then it showed how some people just don't participate at all. Well, you can see that the person's not in there. So you know, even though they're going to try to ride the coattails of the other 3. You can look at this and say, you didn't even get in there. And then that person that said, hey, I've been working on this for 3 hours, or something like that, you can look at here and you can see, like, say it said, Dave today wasn't here. He's like, I've been working on it for 3 hours today. You come here and like, nope, you haven't worked on it since May 30th. It's everything, yeah, so it's like every little change you made in this thing. So yeah.
But it doesn't tell you how long you're working on it?
No, it doesn't give you the amount of time. But you can use this you can actually revert back. So say if something happened malicious, say if one of your team members, if you're on the project, just went in and wiped everything out, you can go in there and go, okay, revert back to such and such, and everything will come back. So it's really neat. Yeah, exactly. So that's revision history. Comments and chats. You can comment on practically anything you want, and the neat thing about it is in the slides you can see which ones are commented on. So I made 2 comments here on this is what I created in drawings in about 10 minutes. So it's really easy to use. You can make comments. You can reply to those comments if you want as well. And then what happens with those, let me see if I'm still logged in here, is if you want, you can turn this off, you can email it. So then you can just click on it and go to it. So if you have a comment to a file, as an instructor, you wanted to leave a comment for your student, you can go to that file, put a comment, and they'll all get emailed. So then that way they'll know, like, hey, I got to go and see what, the instructor said my grammar's awful. I got to go fix it, which we do a lot. Yes.
For effective communication purposes, does it track your college adopts, does it track your emails up to your students?
Yeah, I mean, if they adopted the whole thing, it's email and everything, so they track everything. So everything's through the institution. You'll be completely moved over to Gmail and stuff like that. So everything will be, it's all one. Gmail, calendar, the docs, everything will all be in one. And that's, I would be here for 5 hours if I tried to show you how that web worked, but it's really nice. Yes?
So for any university that switches to Google email, we have those.
Yes, in order to get it, you have to be part. Yeah, and then they just turned off the rest, so they can turn it all on. Yeah, so you can. Yeah, and you can turn off either one. If you don't want the students using that Gmail portion, you can turn it off. Like ours, if I logged into Gmail through my MSJC, I have no inbox. Because everything they want us to do still to use Microsoft, which is kind of weird because we have like half Microsoft, you know, but for certain things we're still allowed. So we haven't fully adopted it yet. But me personally, I can't wait till we do it. Chat's real-time chat, so if we go back to this picture and we have students like this, we have one in Oregon, one in Alaska. Alaska, that was the one that was number 4 that we missed the other day. I mean, in that other slide. We have one in New York and we have one in Florida. They all can chat and everything all at the same time, leave comments because different time zones. And it's really nice to collaborate. Grading tips, we already talked about this. If you graded based off of comments, and this is so hard to see. Let me go back to presentation if it gets any better. So if you wanted to comment based on grades, or like I said, if you wanted to grade based on your vision history, you can do that as well to see if they participated on the slide. Overview. It's absolutely free for educational institutions. You get up to 30 gigs of space per users. Students will not lose work or versions of the projects. Students can use Chromebooks to do schoolwork and saves money on IT costs, so give it back to the faculty. Woohoo! Good luck. No, I'm wishful thinking myself. Oh, and I think we have a little bit more time. If you guys, this is something, this is called Google Classroom. This is another cool product that just came out. So it's only 1 minute and 45 seconds. After that, I'll take questions, and then as we're concluding, I have another thing that's more geared towards if you have friends that are teachers in elementary schools or middle schools or something like that, they have a Google product, but it's called Google Play for Education. It's incredible. They use basically all the students will use tablets. So I'll show that as we're leaving if you want to stick around. But this one's really neat to see how everything works together.
I consider myself lucky to be a teacher. Whose website are you looking at now? If a teacher is collecting and handing out papers, they're not maximizing the amount of time that they're actually teaching.
I have 45 minutes a day with kids, so if I can get them to do an assignment at night, I've now added time with them.
As a first-year teacher, it was rough in the beginning. The amount of paper was overwhelming.
Google Classroom is one location for all of their worksheets and handouts. It's a way for a teacher to be able to distribute projects to students. And it's a way for students to be able to turn in their work.
Everyone should have their own copy that has their name up on the top.
It gives you a little more teaching time. And who doesn't like to save time?
Everything that we need for the class is in one place.
My worksheets are there, my group work is there.
I submit it, and then it's done. I don't have to worry about losing it or forgetting to hand it in or spilling coffee on it in the morning.
Classroom really helped to organize everything, and it showed me when it was submitted, what was submitted.
You cannot stay in teaching and keep going to the old ways.
With Google Classroom, I'm able to maximize time in the classroom to bring students to that next level.
It definitely helped make me a much better teacher.
You see faculty now that are rejuvenated. Teaching becomes new again.
Very good, okay.
Submission times, but if some of us teach face-to-face as well, that's a nice little component. I'm going to scroll past that Play for Education, and I know we've had a bunch of questions, but if we have any more, here's my information. If you guys want to get a hold of me, please do. Other than that, I am thankful for your time. I know this was the 3rd one, so we probably all got a lot of steam coming out of our ears, but other than that, thank you. I appreciate it.